Hey y'all, Stephanie here with Minimalist Mom Life. Welcome back to my channel. Today I have for you a few myths about minimalism that I think a lot of people tend to believe. Both people that want to get into minimalism and want to simplify, and people that are kind of weary and shying away from it because they believe these things. So let's get right to them. The number one thing I have that people believe about minimalism and simplifying their life is that whatever they're getting rid of, that they're going to end up missing or they're going to end up needing. Now, I have kind of always kept things simple and not liked clutter. But the longer I live and the more kids I have, and just the older I get, the less and less I tend to have. And I can tell you that of everything that I have ever parted with and gotten rid of, I have never wanted something, missed it, or replaced it. Except with the exception of clothes, because I would replace those anyway, because you tend to want new clothes and styles change. But actual things that I've gotten rid of, I've never been like, oh man, I wish I still had that one black cardigan, or I wish I had more bowls or another casserole dish or whatever it is that I've gotten rid of. I have never wanted or needed it again. So it's a total myth that if you get rid of it, suddenly you're all of a sudden going to need it or want it again. I think kind of the opposite tends to happen, and you tend to realize, man, I really didn't need that. That means I probably don't need this, and I probably don't need that. And you find ways to make do with less and less and less. And the number two tip that kind of goes along with that is that it'll cost you more. A lot of people tend to think, well, if you get rid of stuff, then you already had that, you already spent the money, so you're going to waste money because you're going to end up having to replace that. And then where you already owned it, you're going to have it to spend the money again to buy it again. But the truth is, like I just said, you tend to realize you didn't need it, and that a lot of things, especially kitchen items, can be used over and over and used in different ways. You don't need one set thing for every single item. And same thing with your clothing as well. So it does not end up costing you more. I think that's a total myth, and I think it ends up costing you less, because I think once you begin to simplify your life, when you realize you need less, then you buy less. So you're spending less money because you're cultivating a heart of contentment that says what I have is already enough. So it's not that I'm going to buy stuff and get rid of it and then go through that cycle again, but you begin to really realize, okay, I have gotten rid of all the stuff that I spent money on. I don't want to make that mistake again. So I'm going to really think through and be intentional with what I do buy, make sure what I buy is what I need, what I want, it's something that is going to be more long-term than instead of short-term kind of junky stuff, or things just because Joanna Gaines made it, or things just because it was in Target dollar spot. You kind of think through your purchases more, and I think in the long run that really saves you money. Myth number 3 is that it looks the same for everyone. I think if you hashtag minimalism, or if even on YouTube when you look around channels, you can see a lot of, it's all white walls and kind of maybe more stark or more modern looking decor. But minimalism is going to look different for everybody. Everybody's going to start with a different amount of things. Everybody's going to have a different amount of people in their family. Husbands are going to have different opinions on what's in your home. You're going to have different relationships with your mother and your mother-in-law and the things they give you. So it's going to look different for everybody. It's not a decor. It's really not a trend. It really is just this idea that we're going to simplify our life. And so that's going to look different for every family as they simplify. And I would also say if you're starting out trying to get on a minimalism journey, your first year, your home is going to look different than maybe what it will look in 5 years. And so be mindful of that as you're getting into this, that it's going to look different for everybody. Do not try and copy somebody's house. It needs to be what is right for your family and best for you. And number 4, total myth, is that you hate stuff. Such a myth. I love stuff. I am one of those people that if you're familiar with the restaurant Cracker Barrel that has all the country decor and is kind of crowded with it, I love that place. And I think all of that stuff is cute. I just don't want to bring it all into my home. I like to go to the Target dollar spot. I absolutely adore going to Hobby Lobby. But you can ask my friend Jessica, who I usually go with, that I'm always like, this is all so cute, but I have no place in my home for it. And so I don't buy it, but I still enjoy going to Hobby Lobby and seeing all the cute stuff. It's not that I suddenly hate things, it's just that I know how much I want in my home, and I have that already, so I don't need to continue adding to that. So we do not hate stuff. My number 5 tip, or my number 5 myth about minimalism, is this idea that if you get rid of your stuff, that suddenly you'll have peace. And suddenly your house will always be clean. I just want to be completely upfront with you guys. I am a Bible-believing Christian, and I believe that the only real way to peace in your life is through Jesus Christ, your Savior. No amount of stuff, small or large, is going to give you the ultimate peace in your life that you're looking for apart from Jesus. So while minimalism is great for simplifying things, and that can relieve stress, definitely having less stuff is a great stress relief, but it's not going to give you that ultimate peace. It's not going to fix everything in your life. Minimalism is not going to fix your marriage, okay? It's not going to make your mother call you more. It's not going to do all of those things. It's also not going to create a perfectly clean home. You're still going to have to mop your floors. You're still going to have carpet to vacuum. It is much, 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 much simpler and easier to clean when you don't have so much stuff to clean. That's obvious. But it's not an automatic that everything becomes perfect. And I don't want to lead anybody down this idea that, oh, if you get rid of half your stuff, then suddenly your kids will behave and they'll never fight over toys. My children don't have a lot of toys, and they still are going to argue over toys because they have a sinful nature. Thank you, Adam and Eve. So, total myth about minimalism is that it makes everything perfect. It does improve life. I think it is a great thing if you're interested in it to simplify. I think that's fantastic. But I don't want anybody to think that doing that is going to create this absolute perfect life, or that I have some perfect life because we choose to simplify the way we live. So I hope you guys enjoyed those myths and learned something. If you kind of are on a minimalist journey, leave down below myths that you have heard or that you have believed about minimalism, things that you have heard along your journey of simplifying your life. And I will talk to y'all in my new video. And since this is my first video of 2018, I want to say Happy New Year, everyone!